Hello, hello, hello. We're back online again. I'm gonna wait for you guys to get back. I got a better internet connection. I'm going through Starlink right now. And I'm here. Let's see if someone comes on. And we're online. Okay, we got. All right, let's see if anybody comes in. Let's see if anybody comes in here. Today we're going to do about sustainable living. Okay. All right, we have somebody walking in. Say hello again. If you were joining me earlier, I'm back. Yes, Stephanie. But now I'm back with Starlink. I'm not going to be able to go throughout the whole property, but I'm going to be able to show you the property, show you the house, one of the houses here that's totally self-sustainable. Give you kind of, I won't be able to give a tour. I'm kind of within only Wi-Fi range here. And if you want to ask any questions, for those of you who didn't join me, I had to sign off because I was getting an unstable connection. Okay, hola Ernie. Hey, gringos are us. I didn't have a very stable connection with the cell phone, but I wanted to try to use the cell phone. The reason why I wanted to try to use the cell phone was because I could get cover a little bit more area. What I'm going to show you here, I'm using my iPad. This is the house I'm going to go over to, but look at this beautiful view. This is a self-sustainable community. Self-sustainable. Right over there, actually, for those of you who were with me before, that right over here is a bio pool. And what it is a swimming pool, but it's totally natural. It's like swimming in the lake, I guess. If you guys want to shout out again, tell me if you can hear me real well or not. But this is the bio pool. We're having an event here. That's where we got invited to this event. And those are two more houses that are here. This is the house that's been gracious enough to give me Starlink access, so I could actually. Let me pan a little bit slower. I don't want to make you all what do you call dizzy. But let's go over to the house real quick, just so you get an idea. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm good. Hopefully, you guys. I know that Huerito said that I would be back onto a better connection. So let's go over here to the house. And all of this is self-sustainable. For example, I'm going to show you right now. This is this house right here is I'm powered by solar. They don't have CFE that, like I had said earlier, that I'm about 7 miles outside of San Miguel. It's in the country. As you can see, there's another house over there. I'm in the country. This house is actually for sale. I'm not getting paid to promote it or anything else. I'm just want to show you the house because it's empty. But if you see right over here, here's the battery that runs the house. So whenever they're not getting solar, or when they charge the battery, so at night they can run mini splits. They can run anything they need to run. This community is kind of it's got a minimalist kitchen, and this is the house. If I lose you, let me know, or if I start to lose you, I usually get this thing. And look at that view outside the window. I think they lost me. Let me see. Do you have me back? Am I back? Hello? Uh-oh. Am I connected? Can you see me? Okay. Let me see. I should be back online. Let me know. Okay, I'm back online. That was the only problem with going into the house. Is I did know that I had the Wi-Fi signal was getting a little bit not as good. inside the house, and I knew when I get inside the house I might lose it, but it looks like I'm back. All right. Hey Jules, how's it going? So this is the self-sustainable community, different, and also this goes on to my yesterday's live stream where I was talking about having a social life here. These are my friends from New Zealand that own this place. Well, actually his wife is from Mexico City, but she lived in New Zealand for some time. So she's from New Zealand also. She's actually a New Zealand citizen also. Thank you, I'm back. And she's a New Zealand citizen, and actually I'm gonna come up here and answer any of your questions. But this is a self-sustainable, it's kind of a community style living. Everybody helps each other out. They do their own water collection. It's almost kind of like living off, it is living off grid, but you're still close to San Miguel. If you want to go down to the central, you're within driving distance. I know this might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I wanted to present something to you that's a little bit different than what normally, I'm losing my breath, that what I normally, what's normally the norm of going to a neighborhood and all of that. Not only that, but I wanted to give you a little glimpse into the kind of fun we have. That's the reason for these live streams. Talk about, have you guys ask whatever you want to ask, but also at the same time, show you something or kind of give you a little bit of into our own personal lives. And like I said, this is just another social event. That's the reason why I can't do my live stream this evening, and I had to change it to Monday. Tomorrow, I'm even actually going to go see one of my, we're going to go have lunch with one of my viewers. But like I said, this is a different kind of place, and this is Mexico. It's a beautiful place. And like I said, we come out here when they have events. They have events every once in a while. Today it actually happens to be an open house for that house over there that I just walked into. I don't know how much of the house you got to see. I don't know how much of the house you got to see, but hopefully you got to see enough. Let me see if I can go around the other side of the house so you could see the community a little bit more. And let me kind of explain the go-arounds on this. Actually, I don't know, on the other side is one of the water collection pools. And then as you can see, all of this drainage is carefully positioned so that if you see this drainage over here, all this drainage is carefully the foyer. All of this is carefully positioned to drain and collect the water. If you see down here, it actually, whenever it rains very intensely, all of this collects water and it goes into, and then they also have a system where they do have septic tanks, but then they also, like for example, you're washing your clothes and everything else, they have a system where when you're washing your clothes, they recycle the water and they filter it and clean it again. They call it gray water. And sometimes the gray water can also be used for watering your plants. So it's totally self-sustainable. Up here, if you can see, I don't want to get too far away from the house and actually from the Starlink, but as you can see here, that is the community house. It actually has a kitchen in it, and that's where everybody meets. The concept was kind of a shared kitchen, and different people cook and then they share, but also each house has a small kitchen if you want to make your own meals. But it's all about community here. And like I said, if you like living out in the country, and they're nice houses. Look at this. This is the house that's sharing the Starlink with me. Beautiful home. And I've been inside that home. Very nice people that, as a matter of fact, that I met the last time I came here. And we come out here for different events. We hang out with our friend Mike and Paula. And do you guys have questions? Any questions about the sustainable living? Any questions about Mexico? I know we had a lot of questions yesterday. I was actually taking a lot of questions about Mexico. And anybody have any questions? And I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me kind of come over here to the foyer again and see if anybody has anything. Anybody want to ask any questions or anything else? I'm here. I just wanted to give you a chance to hang out and kind of share a little bit about what we do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I only keep these to 15, I think 30 minutes. Yesterday I went almost an hour. Sorry we missed you yesterday. We were moving from Huatuco to Oaxaca. Well, Gringos R Us, I hope how's your, I don't, actually I would ask, but I'm not going to ask yet because you still have a couple of more places to go so that you can say which ones are your favorite places. And I know you guys are moving around everywhere, but that's basically, yesterday I had a lot of questions. So yesterday it kind of went almost an hour, but I try to keep it to 30 minutes. But I will be having my live stream tomorrow, the normal live stream, the official live stream tomorrow. And we'll be talking about fintech, what fintech is, what's the risks of fintech, why use these apps, why not use these apps, or what are the benefits, but there's also a lot of risks. And actually, I think the risks outweigh the benefits. We are now over halfway through our journey, through the journey. Yeah, Gringos R Us. But let me ask you this. Do you have any favorites so far? I'll wait around to see if you have any favorites so far, or are you going to just keep it a little bit of a secret? Let's see if you come back on. I know I'm a little bit delayed, so I'm going to stay on for a little bit to see if Gringos R Us tells us if they have a favorite so far, or if they're going to keep it a secret until the end. Or, Yami's saying your top 3 favorites. Let's see if you can come up with your top 3 so far. If you're still there, Gringos R Us. Let's see. And Mama a little bit delayed. This live streaming thing is a little bit delayed, so you're probably hearing this about 3 or 4 minutes after I actually say it. Hello, Holistic Flow Tactics. How's it going? Dale suerte. Thank you. Actually, Holistic, you're catching me near the end of my stream. I was just showing a sustainable community. We got invited by our friends to come out here for they have a little event going on where they're everybody's swimming in the bio pool. I'm not gonna go swimming in the bio pool today. Unfortunately, we have to get back because we have 2 little fur babies to get back to. But we're gonna stay here, have a couple of drinks, enjoy some friends. And Querétaro, San Luis, and Huatuco are the top 3. Awesome. Actually, those are a good top 3. To be honest with you, actually San Luis isn't far from here. You know what, Gringos R Us? Funny you said San Luis. I didn't realize San Luis was so close. We always bypass it on the way back to Monterrey. And we were yesterday, we were at a barbecue. We were having a barbecue, or a carne asada, as you would call it here in Mexico. And there was some people installing the stereo system there, or working on the stereo system at our friend's house. And they're from San Luis, and they were saying it's only a 2 or 3 hour drive. And I know that 2 Travelers lives down there, and we might think about going down there actually to go check it out. Let's see here, Jay Fraley, do you know of any service to create a permanent address in the U.S. for friends if your friends are heading to Mexico to a no family? Evidently, banks have problem with iShop and other mail services. We surf. Hey, actually, Jesse, I think you asked that about the traveling mailboxes yesterday. Hey there, Michael. Yeah, I'm back online. Actually, Jesse, I do know that banks have issues with traveling mailboxes. And Gringos R Us had a little bit. Actually, I'm glad you're here, Gringos R Us, because you might be able to give them a little bit better advice. Because when I was talking yesterday, I think it was you, Jesse, that asked that question. And what I had said is that I have family in McAllen, Texas, and then we maintain, but they have a residential address. So I don't have a problem getting a driver's license. I don't have a problem with the banks or anything else. But I do know that banks, and I know Gringos or Us ran into that with their, in South Dakota. If you use the traveling, if you could give a quick tip there to Jesse. And actually, Jesse, like I said, I live here in San Miguel. If you live here in San Miguel, La Conexión is the way to go. I think they have more of a physical address. We did a video on it, very good one. Actually, I'll tell you what, Jesse, Gringos R Us did do a video on it. As a matter of fact, that's how I know about it. Maybe you might want to go visit. It's called Gringos R Us, and they have a YouTube channel, and they did a lot of planning before. And you might want to try to. I asked about mail forwarding, didn't know at the time that banks will close your account if you use a mail forwarding service. I'll check out and actually, Jesse, the like I said, I use we even opened a La Conexión here in San Miguel, but they're a little bit different. They have an actual physical address, and I don't think they're on the radar because I think a lot of these traveling mailboxes have. It's kind of like Netflix, where they block certain internet protocol addresses, and what'll happen is they have a list of known mailbox forwarding services, so the banks will say, hey, you're not living here, or whatever the thing might be. Now, La Conexión, what I was telling you is they have an actual warehouse address. All the mail goes there. They actually drive up to the border every week and bring the mail physically back. So that's the issue, that we didn't run into that with La Conexión, but we didn't really use it that much. I had family, or maybe if you have a good friend that could forward some of your mail, that's the way we do it. And I know Gringos R Us did run into some places where the DMV had certain mailbox places flagged, but that was for the purpose of getting a South Dakota license. So because they were trying to get their license plates and everything from South Dakota, and also their their driver's license from South Dakota, because if you've ever heard, if you're in a free zone, there was a lot of people that get South Dakota plates because you don't have to have the insurance and all of that stuff. And they had some issues where they had to change it. And so, and they were having some issues with residency. Yeah, but that was the issue, where if you use this traveling mailbox with the address, they were like, you really don't live here, or the residency, you don't have residency here because you're using the travel. If I recall the video, I don't remember. That was a while back. You did that video on that subject, yes. And actually, that is related to the traveling mailbox, if I'm not mistaken, Gringos R Us. But I think you just need to find a mailbox forwarding service that isn't a problem. And that's the thing with a lot of the mail forwarding services. Like, for example, La Conexión is a how would you say, local service. It'd just be like going to your mailbox place where you rent a mailbox so they have and they're a little less known. Dakota Post fixed all that for us. They were great. So go over there and watch their videos. I haven't really had a lot of experience with traveling mailboxes. And like I said, La Conexión's not on any bank's radar. And then I know that some of these big traveling mailbox services, they're so common that I guess the banks are. And the reason why, and I'll explain to you, Jesse, the reason why banks will shut you down, and I'll tell you the truth, it's for what they call know your customer. It's for money laundering compliance reasons. The banks are required to know their customer, know where they live, know where their residence is, all of that stuff. And they actually, when you have a traveling mailbox, that kind of actually flags money laundering. It doesn't mean you're money laundering. I'm just saying that banks don't want to take, a lot of banks don't want to take a risk that you're actually using that as a shell. We called it in the investigative world shell address, or a shell company, or a shell. We call them shell addresses because when you go to the address, nobody lived there, and then you don't know who lives there. But a lot of banks, that's probably why they don't want to take traveling mailboxes. It's part of what we call KYC. And also, you might want to check, depending on your banks. I have a bank, I bank in the U.S., but like I said, I have a U.S. address with my relatives. So go over there and check out with Gringos or Us. They use a Charles Schwab account, so they haven't had any problem. Hold on. What we did, Jesse, was open a Schwab after we had the South Dakota address, and it has been great. And so, actually, Gringos or Us is saying that Charles Schwab did work with that forwarding service that they use. So you might want to check that out, Jesse. And you might want to ask your bank. Actually, believe it or not, just be honest with the bank, because maybe they may be able to give you an exception. Because I do know that banks will shut you down for sometimes, like for example, they'll have to wire money, a large amount of money to the United States. I call my bank, tell them, hey, I need to wire that money, blah, 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 blah. I'm just giving a hypothetical situation. And then they know why, or maybe I have to supply some documents. But a lot of that is money laundering compliance, to be honest with you. And it doesn't mean that you're in trouble, and it doesn't mean that, but it's just that banks can't. You got to understand that banks are under certain regulations, and what'll happen. Hold on here. I'm. You got to remember, I'm in the sun here. Have you had any problems with the credit cards? Gringos or Us, can you answer that question? Being shut down. And let's see what Gringos or Us has to respond while I'm sitting here. But like I said, you got to understand that the banks are regulated, and since they're regulated, a lot of times they're a little bit more, like, how would I say, better safe than sorry. We heard ramblings on that, Jesse. Yeah, you know what? And like I said, right now, and then, you know what? That's also, we can go into that tomorrow on the fintech stuff. Hey, CMT, we can go into that on the fintech stuff. See, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot of these online banks that are popping up, giving out credit cards, secured credit cards. And the problem right now is, I think the government's really, and it's not just the U.S. government, a lot of governments are in the U.K., they're trying to get a control of this. And that's why a lot of this stuff is, the fintech stuff is dangerous. And then this is why we're starting to see stuff like, hey, credit card companies aren't going to give you stuff until you have a U.S., unless you have a valid U.S. address, or they don't, hey, Lambden, how's it going? That you don't have a U.S. valid address. Like I was telling you about the banks, it's probably because of money laundering regulations. These fintech companies are going to start getting regulated, and you're going to start running across the same issues. Like I said, also, Jesse, depending on where you want to move, there may be a local service, just like Conexión, like I have down here in San Miguel, where they have an actual physical address. They collect all the mail from the physical address, and they actually physically drive it down. So, and they'll even drive down your packages, but it's at a cost. Yeah, you used to work with an AML compliance department, Jesse. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to work with AML compliance people all the time because I used to investigate that kind of stuff. That's why I have a little bit of a knowledge into that world. And actually, Capital One is pretty good. The other one that's pretty good is Chase, to be honest with you. I have Chase, and I have a Sapphire card. And I think the Sapphire account, they don't have any, they give you the going rate whenever you make purchases, and there's no foreign transaction fees. And I know Capital One also does the same thing. So, I mean, they're very aware. I think Chase and the Capital One are very aware of people living abroad and using their credit cards abroad. But you know what? I got to get back to the party, and we are going on 30 minutes. But we'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We'll discuss this financial stuff a little bit more tomorrow. I just wanted to come on. And for those of you that weren't able to join me, you can watch this. It's going to be up on the channel. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, stay safe and stay informed.